is the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and Krissy Vann. That's me. And we're taking you on a little off-roading.
And every single week, we're going to be joined by our dope friend, Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Woo! Hey, I floss.
And every week, we're going to ask each other stupid questions, and we're going to answer them. And why, you may ask? Because we can. All right, this is your Motovation.
Off-road edition.
What's the biggest animal in the wild that you think you could win a fight with if you had to?
A giraffe. Because I think all he's got is his neck. You know what I mean? And I just underneath
He's got
him
some
and
long legs, or what you talking about? Just a neck.
I would just right from underneath him and just fucking
Boom.
Even though I hate
to the
the
chin,
thought of
to the
hurting a
high
giraffe.
chin. Where are you punching?
I'm getting him in the guts, like
Oh, okay.
in the solar plexus, right where he's gonna get winded. Because what is he gonna do? Kick up and under? No, there's no fucking way. A rhino? No, they can run you. They'll take you. Hell no. I think a giraffe, and I don't know why I'd be fighting that motherfucker, but he wouldn't have it with me.
Okay.
I answered that way too quickly. Like I've thought about it before.
I was impressed. I was like,
I love it. I've had time to think about it because it's my question and I actually haven't decided yet. You, on the other hand, 2.2 seconds. Boom.
Giraffe. I was like a giraffe, baby.
Yeah.
Punch him in the guts.
I might be underestimating my abilities, but I'm going to have to go with flamingo because apparently I don't have a large faith in myself over
Krissy.
anything much larger than that.
She said a big animal.
No, what's the biggest?
Oh, the biggest. And
I think I'm only at flamingo level, and it's mainly because they're like normally hanging out on one leg, so I feel like I could hit them off balance, and then that would give me a fighting chance. I also don't really know flamingos to be aggressive now that I think of it, so I might be so sad. I'd just lure them in with their kindness and then sucker them to the side.
And would you just punch it, or would you punch him?
No, I'd go for like a hip check, I think.
Oh, you would like a puppy.
Oh, you're going down. You're going down. If that's your plan, a hip check?
Well, they're on one leg.
That's it.
One spindly little leg.
Right.
They're going down.
This is...
I see. I forgot about that portion.
Yeah, they're just hanging out there, eating their shrimp so that they turn pink.
Yeah.
Flamingos aren't pink, naturally. Fun fact.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they eat so much shrimp.
It's their diet.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
There's like something else in the water that they have that, changes their... That's why
you're always teaching me something. Pink flamingos because they eat shrimp. And I love that that's what you thought of too. Like there is animals that are kind of that size, but it's because of the one leg. Krissy, you are...
Logic.
That's logistical.
As
that's
quick
scary.
on the ball as Richelle with her giraffe.
Yours better not disappoint. You've been able to think about this.
No, it's going to be very disappointing. So the biggest I came up with in this exact moment, mainly only because this is an animal that I've had to understand that I may need to fight one day, is a Canada goose.
Oh, those are assholes.
They've charged before, and I've had to come up with a plan of how I would defeat the Canada goose. Just a good old Krav kick. So like the
Krav Maga,
right? Like Krav, just like right at the beak, right at the neck, like just the like where you kind of open the foot up and just boom. And because that's the only way, because they don't seem to go over, they go kind of at you, at your like, and they flap at you.
You're forgetting that they come in a pack. So what about the ones behind you?
Yes, they're never party of one.
They're pack animals, man.
I would be throwing
surround kick,
some kick. Yeah, I would do a windmill kick, take out just like, just
Rick smack them all, smack them in a row.
Bing, bing,
Trigger
bing,
warning,
bing, bing,
they're
bing,
very aggressive. This is from a story we covered a while back after a Canada goose attack on a hiking trail.
She didn't have a plan. She did not have a plan. There's a picture
was that
of
a redhead?
Woman.
Oh,
They never plan.
We're so sensitive.
She was on a bicycle too, so she even had a getaway car. And as to Richelle's point, 2 adult geese and a gaggle.
Not a gaggle.
Gaggle is coming in fucking hot.
Oh, I don't know. My confidence is no longer there.
She thought if I just sit past, I'll be fine. But I misjudged how fast I was going, and the goose misjudged my intentions. What I remember is the goose giving me the evil eye, and then the goose wrapping its wings around my head. And I can't see or hear myself screaming.
Yeah. What?
The next thing, she was found on the ground
wrapped
waiting.
Its wings around her head?
To block her sight.
The goose had a plan.
And then the gaggle came in.
It did.
And was like, we got you, girl.
God.
Yeah. Richelle's face.
I'm mortified. Like,
I used to be scared of them. Now I'm
So crab away.
But you better, you know what? Training begins tomorrow.
Training begins tomorrow. You need to go to like a full martial arts situation and maybe carry bear spray with those suckers.
I'm saying confidence is low all of a sudden. Actually, the confidence was never high. I just had to think it through previously in my days. Because one's come a charging and a hissing. And I was like, I did that like, hey, Gus, like, had to like make myself big. And it kind of was like, all right, you win this one. This was like in the McDonald's parking lot.
They don't mess around.
Look, there is slower people that, are not paying attention. Wait for them. Get them good. Leave me be. I just had a feeling he was on his own. And I was just like, you seem, and then I just kind of turned back and he was just running at me. And I was like, fuck you, goose.
And you just stood your ground and he was good with it.
Yeah, I had to. I like kind of did the charge thing in the pub and literally was like, hi, goose.
I wish I saw that.
Because I was like, he's coming. I got to do something. And I would just use what you're supposed to do a bit with a bear.
Right. Yeah.
Although bear, you're not supposed to.
And you're like, this must be for all animals.
You're supposed to be big. Yeah. It's just like, if it's good for a bear, it's good for a goose.
As we all say.
Yeah. As the saying goes.
As the saying goes. No,
I fucking terrified of the goose.
Tried to make it. But
you went for it, but it's okay. You know what? 90% of the time you nail. So you're allowed to.
Every time. 90% every time.
You're allowed to goose it. Oh! She comes in with a swipe.
Oh my God, amazing. That was a good one.
All right.
All right. We got to do a palate cleanse. Who has a funny question?
Scary. Okay. Say something funny. Just a one-liner. Say something funny.
Oh, poop pizza.
What?
It's still my favorite word since I was a little kid. Actually, what's funny? My college friends, you're going to be like, this is no shock or surprising. We would just randomly text each other and in person. And we would just be like, well, poop and pee pizza. That's just it. That's all we'd say. Poop and pee pizza. And we would just, because it was so stupid. You just couldn't not have a smile or laugh.
It makes me want pizza, honestly. And then it also makes me think pooping is really nice.
It is.
Also, when you have to pee really bad and you finally get to,
nothing
like it.
Well, a flamingo, a goose, and a giraffe walk into a bar.
Uh-huh.
That's all.
Who comes out alive? Who comes out alive?
Stay tuned. We will find out later.
Who do you think would win out of those three? Better question.
Ooh. The goose,
definitely
for sure.
The goose.
I think we've established this.
I don't know. I took it down.
Yeah, you did. We all know the giraffe wouldn't make it, so can't even make it in there.
What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea.
No idea.
No idea. No idea. No idea.
What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs?
What?
Still no idea.
Still one. Oh my God, that's so good.
That's pretty great.
I love that.
Well, that was fun.
Okay. Is that Krissy's turn now for your question?
Yeah,
no,
my
Richelle.
final question. Oh, we do. Oh. What's your funny thing, Richelle?
Or your next question?
Oh, I'm a next questioner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Richelle just said, say something.
Yeah, I said say something funny.
Oh, I thought. I didn't know that was your question. I thought that was your palate cleanser.
No.
Good question. Yeah,
what do people complain about too much?
The weather. I do it too. Oh God, it's really hot. It is hot out. And oh gosh, gotta get that. I can't seem to cool off. I can't sleep. It's just too hot. And then it's like, oh, what I wouldn't give for a little sunshine. It has been raining and it is so cold. It's been snowing and it's crisp and cold. And everybody has something to say about the weather
all the time.
Funny thing is that we talk like it's something that should be consistent. It's never going to be consistent. Never has been. Now, I'm not denying global warming here. I'm not like, what's everyone up, tree about what's going on with the weather? There's obviously mentionable things, which is one of my questions coming up. But yeah, no, the weather, everybody complains about the weather.
The best myself. I agree. And the amount of times it happens in elevators, and then they would be like, elevators. The weatherman got it wrong again. And sometimes I would just be like, I am the weatherman.
Right. That is
and
the
then they would
elevator
look at me confused. And then if there was enough time in the floors, I'd be like, no, seriously, that's what I do for a living. And then sometimes explain what happened and slowly walk away, or just let it sit there.
Like you explain what happened with the weather. You're like, listen,
100%.
I had no control.
Like, there's almost always a reason if it has a big flip flop. Why? Well, anyways, Richelle.
I think a lot of people complain about other people a lot.
Don't
we? Right? And it's kind of like, this really pissed me off the other day when that person driving in that car totally cut me off, or something along those lines. And you're just like, yeah, well, shit happens. Who knows what's going on with that person? And like, I totally complain about people all the time too. And I catch myself and I'm like, you know what? Why do I even care? So I'm just trying not to give a shit. You know what I mean? You just got to like, sometimes at some point or another be like, I don't really care. That doesn't affect me.
Give. And
some fucks you shouldn't give.
It's like the weather. Humans, we are going to be the most consistent for humaning. And that is what we're complaining about, essentially, is someone else doing human things that we wish they weren't doing. And it is like a guaranteed that somebody within your day is going to do something that you'd rather them not do, which is a very human thing of them to do, kind of like the weather that we complain. So it's like, we complain about the most consistent, inconsistent. We're so consistent about complaining about the things that are most inconsistent.
Yeah.
Rather than
like traffic.
Like, let's just accept that that will never be consistent, but we somehow cannot.
Yeah, we're like so inconvenient.
Because it's out of our control. And we hate things that are out of our control.
Mine was going to be traffic, and the amount of times it's like, look at this idiot, da da da. Can you believe that or when people complain, but they know there's a festival and they're contributing to it by like driving where the festival is. I'm like, well, what did we expect here? Like, you might be part of the problem, not pointing fingers, but did you turn that ignition on today?
When you go to a large event and people are like, there's so many people here.
Oh,
no
so
way.
Busy.
Look at us complaining about people.
I literally just had this happen though in our building, because we have 2 loading bay spots, and there was a car that was in the towing spot, and this woman was just like, oh, have you seen how long that car has been there? How long has it been there? I'm going to call to have it towed. Da, da, da. And I was like, honestly, I'm like, I'm not that fussed. And she's like, yeah, but sometimes there's repair people that need to come in. Da, da, da. I'm like, but is there today? And she's like, well, no, but if there, I was like, so like, I feel like we shouldn't be that upset about it. Like maybe we'll just leave a note in the chat and not ruin their day when they come down with a $200 tow bill. Just
that was so sweet of you, Krissy. You're looking out.
Right?
Looking out.
We're supposed to look out for each other, you know?
100%.
We're not supposed to hurt each other.
Like, I'm sure the person that parked there wasn't like, fuck these people, I'm going to leave my car in this spot. And like, it's like,
I dare you to ticket me.
Yeah, right? Totally. I'm going to park here forever, piss everyone off.
Can you imagine they're secretly, that is their goal. They're just watching, being like, look at this lady get all fucked up.
Look at her. She's going to call the tow truck. Little does she know I own it.
Yeah.
What would you choose if you had to? Spending a week in prison, like proper scary prison, or spending a year in like the county jail? I say county because that's like but like the jail in your...
Like the provincial jail?
Yeah, like the not as terrifying, still not great, but...
Have any of us been to jail?
Prison? No.
But
have you?
I definitely went to like the drunk tank once, and that was no fun.
Just wanted some insight on the experience. I was saying.
No jail for me.
Committing.
What were the options again? Going to a full intense jail for how long?
So
a week.
And the reason I thought of this question was because I just got, I knew the like headline story of my dad going to the jail in Mexico back when he was younger.
No.
But then I got the full story just the other day, and it was so much more epic than I could have ever imagined. I was like, I was almost not born. Like watching a guy like get like dragged away essentially to his death by some of the inmates. And the guy's yelling. This is when my dad was in the prison in Mexico. And they were like yelling, or the guy's like, I'm a New York City cop. And he was like yelling these racial slurs, and they were literally dragging him essentially to like beat the death out of him, the life out of him. Crazy stuff. And he had to like give the money to one of the guards to like take to his friends back where they were, and like come bribe him out. It was like a whole thing. And
so I had a big conversation with Gav. I'm like, don't end up in Mexican jail.
Yeah.
Because it is for bribes. Like they'll literally drive you to the ATM and be like, just empty your bank.
And Dad
and not to say a fear monger either, because I love Mexico to pieces. I've wandered around aimlessly and gotten lost in the streets in many locations. So it's certainly not blanketed like that. But if you're being an idiot, drunken person, that's easy to take advantage of anywhere in the world. And that's to make yourself a target.
Kingwell, my dad, and even my dad's like, I was an idiot. There was a big festival going on, and he had lost all his friends, and then he was like gonna walk home, and he saw these cops, and he was like, hey, lost my friends. Do you think
I'm alone?
Do you think I could have a ride? He asked the cops for a ride, and they were like, yeah, we'll give you a ride to your campsite. They were traveling in a van, right? Like old school. And they literally was like, then we did a turn that wasn't headed to the campsite, and I'm now in jail. And it was like, he's like, I was an idiot. That was like, no, they're super kind. And you're like, they might not be necessarily full on predatory in that moment, but like you're this person that's like, can I hop in your car? Just like the most privilege. Like just even the fact that you were going to waste a police officer's time, you almost deserve to go to jail.
Right? I would do the week of hard time. I feel like surviving that would give me a real edge in life. Like people would just not expect. And like one day I could just go up in conversation and be like, I've seen some things. And then they'd be like, oh, have you? Like, you look so sweet and you love glitter and you have a disco ball. And I'd be like, oh no, I did like a week of hard time. And
I would hate it though if something happened with my butt. I would be so unhappy.
I'm trying to really, I mean, maybe that would be helpful for me. I've really struggled integrating the butt stuff.
It was really just,
you're just like looking back
like,
and
I don't want
into the deep
just
end.
A finger, okay? Just a finger.
No. Sink or swim. Really gonna sink or swim down there.
No, just try a fist first.
I'm the year. I am the
year.
Go. Yeah, I'm the goal for the year.
Of your life.
Yeah, because I feel
like this time back.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I feel like it wouldn't be as terrifying, and I feel like I could maybe physically defend myself in that type of situation if I had to, because I can take a punch and throw a punch. But there might not be so much stabby. And also I don't feel like I could be completely, sexually ravaged in there. So I can walk out without trauma, do the old brain and body.
You know, a buddy of mine did go to jail too.
Would make me feel better about life, I think.
Yeah, the community one or whatever, they have like video games and pool tables and
there
like,
they
said he was like, it was so easy. And he was in there for like 3 months. He's like, I literally just played video games and worked out. Like, it was like, everybody was so friendly.
Vacation. So I'm headed to vacation for a year.
Free rent, sort of.
Free rent. You guys still holding to your answers? You still want to go to prison for a week?
Hell yeah.
I mean, the stories. The stories. Yeah.
The tattoos you come out with just within that week alone.
Commit some crimes.
Say okay.
So off-brand. Well, that was fun. You just went off-roading with the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and myself, Krissy Vann.
And of course, a special thank you to Richelle from True Get Moto.
Whoop, boss it.
Never miss an episode by hitting like or subscribe. Connect with us on Instagram at Motovation Podcast and visit our website at themotovation.com. And in the meantime, full tanks, full throttle.
I think this is good though. It's like healthy, you know, like people will be like, oh my God, I don't floss.
Plus, it'd be so hard not to laugh to get through this intro.